Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tuesday evening. It's Idle Zone Syndicate Tailgate Tuesday, July 4th edition. Independence Day edition. America edition.
Post-birthday edition.
Kiki's post-birthday edition.
And I'm here. I made it.
Awesome.
Congrats.
You are what now, 37?
Yeah, it's an awesome feeling to be this old.
You have no idea. I mean, dude, I have shoes older than you.
Yeah.
That I still wear.
That's outstanding. Are they New Balance?
They are New Balance, and I wear them with my jean shorts.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Shirt tucked in, belt buckle showing, yeah.
Absolutely. Fanny pack.
I would say Marv
hanging. Never did the fanny pack. Can't say that I ever did I didn't do the jean shorts. When I was a kid, maybe. I didn't do them once I got to like high school.
Jean shorts just like slowly made their way out, didn't they?
They went out pretty quickly for me.
Yeah, like this. Oh man. So
man, I was styling in high school, man. These kids don't even know. Remember Ocean Pacific?
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah. Kyle doesn't even know what Ocean Pacific is, probably.
OP hoodies and bandanas and 501 Levi's.
Oh, 501s, yep.
And you pinch rolled your Levi's, or you left your high tops untied, and you just kind of let the cuffs of your Levi's hang down in those high tops.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
It's an awesome mental picture. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You are very welcome.
It's outstanding.
I mean, so what year were you born, Kyle?
Summer of 88.
Yeah.
He was born.
You're a year younger than my son.
I just, I'm glad I was born around that time because, the 90s were outstanding.
They were pretty good.
The 2000s were and then here we are.
What was your favorite band growing up?
Oh boy, there was a bunch.
High school, because it really don't count much before that.
Kind of old school. I'd like Kiss, Aerosmith, Def Leppard.
All the same stuff I liked.
That's what I got forced to listen to, so it's just kind of engraved in my head,
Forced, but yet you mentioned it as your favorite right off the bat.
ZZ Top, Black Sabbath.
Bands that actually played music, like played an instrument.
Yeah.
Like five,
or more than one.
Like 5 separate instruments.
Mm-hmm. I like some Kansas and Bad Company and 38 Special, and I can go on and on and on. So
Dokken.
I had to throw the Dokken in there.
Dokken, man, they're the best.
Zeppelin.
After Kiss.
John, we're old.
Hey. We are.
And we get the opportunity to talk to some younger guys today.
We do.
Absolutely.
Get all the old stuff out of the way first.
Normally on this show, it's not, there's nothing to connect, 2 episodes.
True.
like this we have stumbled upon this week. Because if our viewers were watching last week, when last Tuesday, like 7 days ago, when all the high school guys were hanging out there at the Lake Lodge, Grand Lake of the Cherokees with John Stewart, and I made them all raise their right hand and pinky swear that if they and their buddy won the Derby, they were coming back on the show tonight.
Yeah, man, we took advantage of the crowd.
Yeah,
and we actually, if we were betting at Vegas, we would have won.
Yeah. Hopefully,
we absolutely would have won.
now, I mean, hopefully, when these two are both big and fishing at the top of their game, they win a tournament, and a podcast says, "Promise to come on our show first after you win," and they say, "Absolutely." Hopefully, they honor that, unlike some of the other guys we've had on the show.
Except Tucker Smith.
Tucker Smith, absolutely. And I don't know if there's a theme here. Younger guys.
Could be.
Honoring their word. What happened to the old guys' word?
I don't know.
Let's bring them in. The TBF High School National Champions, Carson, Holbert, and Cooper Moon. How are you guys?
What's up, guys?
I'm doing great.
It's a nice trophy there.
Yeah, this sucker weighs like 20 pounds.
Nice. Sweet. Wait a minute. Carson, you do not have the ornate background that Cooper has over here in his studio. What's up with that?
So I actually have not made it back to my house in Tennessee.
Oh,
I'm over here at the farm in Warrensburg, Missouri right now. So just staying with some family, and I actually toured Clutch yesterday and talked to Josh and all them. So
cool.
And I actually went fishing yesterday on a local lake too.
Yeah. Where'd you go fishing?
Probably caught like 50 or 60, but nothing over like 3 1/4.
Yeah. Awesome. So has it sunk in yet that you're national champions, or how's it feel?
I don't think it's sunk in yet. I think the actual feeling of becoming national champions was really in the weigh-in line more than it sank in a little bit then, but I think it's still unbelievable thinking about it. I mean, it was an unreal week, probably. I mean, Carson can probably agree, probably the best week of fishing of our lives. I mean, it just everything went right, and we couldn't do anything wrong. It was just one of those weeks it was meant to be.
Yep. Throughout the week, I mean, we grinded it out. We fished clean all week. It just this week was a cherry on top for our whole season. It wasn't just this tournament. We had a great season in Georgia Bass Nation. We finished 4th in AOY, and it was great. I would like to thank our boat captains. It's been a heck of a ride, and to win our last high school tournament, it's been unreal.
Yeah, I was going to say, before we get into this week, let's go back. Let's go back to, I guess, maybe when you started fishing together, or maybe before you started fishing together, and how you became partners.
Yeah, so we were actually last year, I think it was in April.
I
needed a partner.
Something like that.
I needed a partner for an event, and I reached out, just posted on Facebook, and it didn't work out then. But then in July, we came back together, fished together on my local lake, Altoona, and we just hit it off immediately. And so August, we fished our first event together at Smith Lake, and just everything went great. And so that's when we met and how everything went down. And then from there, it was just We just did great ever since then.
When you say hit it off, what does that mean? Like you finish each other's sentences, stuff like that, or
we fish really efficiently together. I mean, we both share the deck. I mean, there's no fighting over who's got what bait or who's got everything's each other's, and we've had a great year. I mean, we agree with most of what we each say, and we do our lake study before tournaments, and we just come together and figure it out in practice.
Yeah. I think trust is the biggest thing. I can trust him if I'm tying on, and if there's a school of fish, like we know that we'll wait if we think we can double up. Like it's not selfish. Like he won't just cast in there and get a fish, or I won't do the same thing. If we think we can, whatever's best for the team is, and we can really trust each other. Building that trust over this year has been awesome, and I think it's been the best for both of us, and it's been awesome for sure.
Very cool. When you say, when you're talking about like casting out a school of fish, go a little bit deeper into that. Like, how do you? So you said you don't just cast. One guy doesn't just cast and try to catch all the fish while the other guy's, maybe back there putting his fish in the live well or something. Expound on that a little bit.
Like, for example, like Hartwell, herring fish. I mean, they're schooling all the time. We're seeing them on scope, and we, for example, one of us would have a topwater, one of us would have a fluke, and we'd both cast at them at the same time and see if we can double up. And who knows, we might get a big one. And at the end of the day, it's all about the team, and how he does is how I do, and we fish so good together, and it's really paid off.
Anything to add to that, Cooper?
No, I mean, really, like even this past week, if I was trying something, like we were using 2 different baits instead of just to try to get, if fish were a little slower, like he'd drag a jig or something like that, and I would use something fast like a crankbait or something. That would be like the two-prong approach, and we've always done that all year until we really figured it out, because this week, every single day was different, what we caught all our big fish on. The first day would be, dragging a jig or something. The second day, or I think it was the third day of the event, every single fish came off a crankbait because they were pulling a lot more current than they were all week. And just really being able to break it down with 2 different people it's awesome. Just being able to trust one another, that they're working it right. They're doing everything to their best ability. And I think that's really what's made us, an awesome team this year.
All right. So let's jump into this tournament. So how do you, for kids out there that may be looking for something to fish, what is it? How do you get there? And just start with that.
So I started out my first couple of years of high school. I fished a couple of my local lakes. First of all, I joined a high school team my 6th grade year, and I was just fishing my local lakes, smaller tournaments. And as I kind of progressed, I worked up to bigger tournaments in my home area. And then I believe my junior and senior year, I really started getting out of my state and fishing out of state, and like Georgia, Florida. Cooper could tell you how many states we fished this year. It's been unreal, and I think it'll really set us up for college. Anybody who wants to go to college, that's definitely the way to go. I mean, me and Cooper both fished Georgia Trail, but we fished all the opens and kind of one-off tournaments, and that's, I'd say, going to set us up pretty good and make us a little bit different going into college. Kind of something people haven't thought of is fishing all over, and a lot of people fish their home lakes, and I could have done that my junior and senior year and probably done maybe a little bit better, but to be able to build this connection with Cooper while we go to Montevallo, and to be able to fish different lakes and set us up for college has been the way to go for us.
Yeah, and I think this last week in particular, Fishing, getting that experience all over the country was definitely key. I think what we ended up finding, I've actually found on Lake Eufaula before, and it's a lake that they changed the water level a lot, and basically the fish were just getting somewhere. So I used that experience from somewhere else that I fished before, and the fish were just staying somewhere where they could stay comfortable, and they wouldn't get flooded out with the high water coming in, or they wouldn't get the water dropping down on them, and they were just staying in that like comfortable range where they could stay there and I guess feel safe and still feed and current coming by. And that's just that like little range is what everybody was skipping over. Everybody would go straight to the ledges or straight to the bushes. And we just found that range that the bigger, we didn't get a ton of bites, but just those bigger ones were kind of hanging out, and I guess they felt safe and they were able to feed and not have to worry about the water as much. And that same thing has happened to us on Eufaula this past year. I think we ended up getting 5th in that event, and we did the exact same thing, pretty much with the exact same baits.
Yeah, you guys, you definitely dealt with some high water. I think, did it peak at like 751 and a half, 752, somewhere in there, and then just up and down?
It kind of dropped a foot or went up a foot throughout the week, and I don't think it made too much of a difference. I think it was a matter of how much current they're pulling and kind of how the wind was setting up. Because on some banks we had that we found in practice, it would be super windy, so we'd pick up maybe a crankbait, and some of the banks that were actually calmer, we'd usually catch them on something dragging, or sometimes we'd catch them on a crankbait as well.
Yeah, I think the lake came up in practice, and they pulled it down right before the tournament started.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was coming up the whole rest of the week. And it came back up. It's up like 2 feet from when you guys left. And now it's starting to drop. They're just now starting to pull it again. Today, they started pulling again, but it's 752.4 right now.
And this definitely is not, this lake level right now currently is just not normal.
No.
I mean, we usually see the water, couple 2 or 3 foot high once in a while this time of year, but it goes right back down 2 or 3 days time, and it's back to 743 or 44 or wherever they decide they're going to hold it for a while. So, I mean, there's probably some rocks that you guys fished that are, generally speaking, really close to being out of the water when the lake's normal right now. So I found it extremely awesome that you guys were as consistent as you were over that course of that few days. So let's talk about your guys' practice and how you went about breaking down 50,000 acre Grand Lake. Did you guys land on them your first day? Are you guys one of those, couple of guys that like to idle around and look at stuff? Talk to us about that.
So
yeah.
Go ahead.
So first day of practice, we stayed kind of the mid-lake area, and we did a lot of scanning, a lot of side scanning with our Humminbird side scan, kind of off the rocky points, kind of just hard spots, and we used our side scan to find those. And once we did, we'd usually rotate with a crankbait or something dragging, and we kind of did that, and that was working pretty good. And I think Cooper caught a 6 1/4, and we kind of rotated that and caught a bunch of 3s and 4s. And then the second day we fished another area of the lake, just wasn't happening. We fished down south. I don't even think we went up in the river. Didn't even check that. Going into this tournament, we knew with the water being up, there'd be a lot of people flipping bushes, and it would just be packed and pressured and all the above. So we stayed in that mid range, kind of where it stabilized the fish, and they wouldn't move around as much. So
when you guys are island around, obviously you got a boat captain with you. So is it one of those deals where one guy's sitting on the back deck, one guy's sitting in the middle, and and both you guys are hollering at the boat captain, swing around, we saw something, or
Yeah.
Walk us through that whole situation.
It's definitely communication. I mean, we've had so many times where we've tried to say something and what me and Carson understand, and the boat captain keeps going straight or turns or something. So it's like a funny chaos, but it's, it's an awesome experience getting to just, spend it with both of our dads. And, even when they make a mistake and, you can't read each other's minds. So we're both sitting there trying to communicate the best we can. And we get by. That's the best, to the best of our ability.
So you guys, you just mentioned both your dads are boat captains. Mm-hmm. So how does this work? So, okay, we're going to go to the biggest tournament of our careers so far, and it's day one of the tournament. Those boat captains have to say, well, in the parking lot, you guys make them flip a quarter.
It was arm wrestling. They had a big arm wrestling tournament out here to see who the boat captain was going to be.
Yeah. No, we just before the event, we just decided, like, you get these 2 days, you get these 2 days, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's a team. It's a team that's going to win or lose or do whatever. So we decided before the event started, in the best way that we knew how to do it, and we just went with it, and everything went perfect.
I wasn't for sure if once who you started with as a boat captain had to end the tournament with you, or if you could alternate back and forth. So
so we had to do 2 separate waivers is basically how we did it. And before the event, we just had to let them know. Some other kids did it too, because a lot of them have 2 boats and both want a boat captain and all that. So just before the event, you got to let them know. That way there's not somebody that goes out with one boat captain and does real bad, and then all of a sudden a new boat captain comes in and they just catch 20 pounds a day. So you just got to let them know before the event, and then it's all good.
So are you superstitious? Because you guys caught them pretty good first day, and then you go switching up boat captains. I don't know if I could do that, because I'm superstitious that way.
So with the Humminbird Lake Master app on your phone or iPad, it makes it super easy to transfer waypoints from one graph to another. That made it very easy for us this week.
Yeah, that was, in order to get every single waypoint on my graph, all I have to do is draw a circle, and export it straight to his through the phone, iPad, whatever. And it may take 5 minutes at most. And it's super easy. So I don't think we're very superstitious. This event, it was meant to be. And God really blessed us this week. And I think it didn't matter what boat captain was, who was boat captain and what boat we were in. I don't think it mattered. It was just our time. So I think we were just blessed this week, and it was our time. So I think it didn't matter really.
Also, my dad did the first 2 days, and his dad did the 3 and 4. So we didn't switch like every other day. So it was 1-2 and then 1-2.
So I've got to ask. So growing up, how much did you guys learn from your dads versus, other people you fished with? So just walk me through, like, what'd you? I think if I remember correctly, both you guys are from Georgia. So
yes, I'm from Georgia and he's from Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee.
Cool. So just what did you guys grow up fishing, and kind of when did you guys get into setting the hook?
I'll let Cooper go first.
All right. So I actually have a backyard pond. So that's where I grew up. I've lived here my whole life. And, ever since I was as little as I could cast a fishing pole, I was always down there with worms, crickets, anything that would bite. And that's how I grew up. And I think, that was really a stepping stone for me. And I think probably around 6th or 7th grade, I started getting serious into it and started getting all over YouTube. I mean, I probably saw every YouTube video those 2 years about how, tournament fishing, and I started learning more. And then about 8th grade is whenever, or 8th grade season, we never had a boat up until that point. We just had a John boat in the pond, and we got an older Stratus, and that's where we started out. And we fished, I think, 1.5 to 2 years in that. And that was a big learning curve and a big step up from just pond fishing. I mean, it was a huge step. And then we eventually got our Skeeter that we got now. And I mean, every year we've learned so much. And I'd say about 7th grade, my dad just let me go and said, "Here, this is your tournament. You make the decisions. If you zero everyone, you're going to zero now, not in college. So you're going to learn the hard way, and that's the best way to do it." That's probably the best thing that ever happened to me, because it made me learn. There's still a lot out there that, the boat captains say, "Here, cast here," or "Here's this spot, it's loaded," and that's not going to make a young fisherman know how to actually do it. It's just going to, they're going to get that next step, and then just, they're not going to know what to do. And I think that's the best thing that could ever happen to me.
I agree. I mean, I think everybody can agree that bass fishing or anything, any individual sport, it's a lot of it is about making the right decision at the right time and making it efficient as possible.
So I actually, ever since I can remember, I started fishing when I was 4. My dad was in the military for 26 years, Air Force, and we traveled all over. And I would always go to little ponds, and I'd fish saltwater. And my dad didn't grow up bass fishing, so we learned on the fly in 6th grade. Before that, we lived in Maryland and Mississippi, and traveled all over and fished saltwater, fished freshwater, went catfishing, and ever since I can remember, we moved to Knoxville. My dad would take me on a kayak, and we'd go fishing just down in my cove there, and that was some of the best memories I could have had. And kind of starting out, then my 6th grade year, when I joined the fishing team, we bought a tractor, and it was a big learning curve there. And I think my sophomore year we bought a Phoenix, and ever since my sophomore year, it's been uphill. But fun fact about me is my first word was ever fish. My first word was fish.
That's awesome. When was that? Were you 3?
I don't even know. My parents just say, "Carson, your first ever word was fish." So I've loved to fish since probably, I don't even know, probably 2-3 years old.
All right, so let's go back to the tournament. I want you to tell about the championship itself. Like it just wasn't a 50 boat, one team from every state type of thing. This was, I believe there was 383 teams. That's the amount that went out. There may have been some others that signed up, but that's the number that went out day one. So that's a big deal.
Yeah, so it was, I mean, going into it, one thing that me and Carson kind of agreed on before the event is it's almost no different than if it was a local 20-boat tournament, because it takes about the same weight. I mean, going into it, I don't look at the boats, because you're competing against yourself. You're catching the fish, no matter if there's 100 boats around or 400 boats around. And so that's really the mindset going into it in such a big event. And I think that like knowing what weight you have to have and making yourself go out and find that, I think that's the biggest mental thing that you can do is just cancel out all the boats. Don't worry about what everybody else is fishing, what everybody else is catching them. Go do your own thing. And I think just really getting in that mindset of it's me versus the fish. It's not me versus everybody else. I think that's the biggest thing with almost 400 boats is just it's you get in your mindset, go find them, put your head down, and just go to work, really.
You do have to prepare, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, or correct me if you don't think this way. But I think with a tournament this big, you do have to, like if you only had one spot to go to, I think that would mess with your mind a little bit, right? Because you got 400 boats, and is there going to be somebody on it? So I'm assuming you guys had plan A, B, C, and D, didn't you?
Yeah,
yes.
we had 5 to 10 spots we rotated all week. That after we looked in practice and we found them, we had 5 to 10 spots that we rotated every single day of the tournament. It was really just a matter of which one would fire and which one would be best for which part of the day. So we always started every tournament day, starting day of the tournament. We started on one spot, and luckily there was people around the areas, but there was no one fishing the same way we were on the spot. So first and second day, or I'll start with first day. First day we pulled up there, caught 12 pounds, 3 fish, like it was going out of style. Like it was, you could tell they weren't super pressured. And so we did that, and then we kind of rotated to a couple other spots, caught a 6, and then when we went to the next spot, we caught a 5.5. And then the second day, we pulled up to the same starting area, and we had a camera boat with us, and we actually caught 13 pounds. This time we caught a 5.5 pounder on that spot, so that was definitely a bonus. And we got on a kind of deal late in the day. Another school we found, and that actually paid off for day 3. So and that's where we caught all of our fish. So the third day, our starting spot didn't produce any fish at all. So it was definitely getting pressured, and we pulled up to our new spot, and we caught. Cooper could tell you, we caught a buck.
That third day. So going out the third day, we agreed that we're going to burn everything we got down to win this event, because there is a fourth day of the world side, but nationals is what we came for. Nationals is what we wanted to win. So we were burning everything down to the ground that we had, and so during the days, we actually were looking. So we had the privilege to actually look during the tournament, kind of practice a little bit. So the first day we had almost 16 pounds at 10:30, and so we did a little bit of looking, and we actually went in early for fish care and all that. And second day did the same thing. We did a lot of looking during the day, and that second day it was one of our last spots of the day. We just our normal spot that we had, we went probably 30 yards out of the way and looked down, and they were just dotted up. We made, I think I lost like a 4. And then I had like a 2.5. I just shook off right at the boat. And the next cast, I caught a 4-pounder, which was a half-pound upgrade at the time. And that's how we got to 14.6 that day. And that third day, we actually, after we hit our starting spot, nothing there, we went to that school that we found late in the day. The second day, and first cast on it, I caught, I think, a 2.5, 2 3/4, and Carson was out as well. He caught a 3.8, and he was actually getting it in the net, getting the fish out of the net. He flipped, got a hook in his hand, and it was past the barb. And so my dad and him were back there trying to do the braid trick, get it all out of his hand. And so, me, I was competitive at the time. So I was like, you don't need 2 people for that. So I went, grabbed the fish cold, cast it back out there. This was on a deep crankbait. So I bombed it. 150 feet out there. I set the hook, and I knew it was something bigger than I've hooked all week. And got it. It felt different. I didn't know what it was. I just knew it was massive. I got it all the way to the boat, and it was a 5 on the front hook, a 4 1/4 on the back, and we got both of them in the net. And so that was the turning point for that day. It was, the cameraman was with us. He got all that on video, and And then luckily, right after my dad netted the fish, we got the hook. Carson, he got all excited and went to high five me, and he actually still had the hook in his hand when he went to high five me. And so it was a good laugh and a good turn of events for that day. And we probably, after that, I think we caught 3 or 4 more, and then we went 2 casts without a bite and then left. And it was just that short trigger whenever they feed, and that was the key, is hitting that little feeding window in each spot. And we actually came back later in the day, and I caught a 5-pounder, and all day long after we hit it that original time, we told ourselves, if we can catch one more 5-pounder, we'll win this tournament. And we actually came back and caught that 5-pounder, and that was the moment. I think everybody in the boat knew that more than likely we're winning this tournament. And that was the moment after I caught that fish that we knew, like, for sure, that the second place team would probably have to catch over 16, close to 16 and a half pounds to win the tournament. So we knew more than likely we won the tournament. And that was the moment. And it still gets me fired up today.
Catching 9 pounds in one cast to get anybody fired up. So
heck yeah.
Yeah. So that was awesome. I mean,
that second place team, though, they had a 16-pound bag. Was it day 2?
Yeah, yes, sir. It was day 2. So
we
knew. Yeah, we knew it to catch 16 pounds and then come back and catch 16 and a half the third day. We knew that was it. I mean, it's doable, but we knew it was a long shot. We still had a little bit of, maybe they did it, but after that fish, it gave you that calm feeling that more than likely you're winning this tournament. We were still looking for one more, but we didn't find one more, but it didn't matter. We won by, I think, 3 pounds. So.
And I assume you got the hook out.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Right after my dad netted those 2 fish, we celebrated, got a hook in my hand from high-fiving me, but yeah, pulled it right out, and all of it's on video. He videoed the whole braid trick, everything. So, and then afterwards, he said that was some of the best footage he's ever captured in his life.
And that is going to be on the internet, on television. Do you guys have any ideas?
Pursuit Outdoors.
He said in about 6 to 8 months, it'll be on Pursuit. So it'll be on TV.
In the middle of winter.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'll be good watching.
Mm-hmm.
Good watching. So is that the first time you've ever had somebody do the braid trick on you?
Yeah. In my 7 years of tournament bass fishing, that's the first ever time I've been hooked past the bar.
Did it hurt?
It wasn't like deep, but it hurt. I mean, it definitely hurt, but it's not as bad as I really expected it to be.
Was it a treble hook that had been in the bottom of the boat rusted up, or was it one of them fresh ones out of the pack?
We're sure to change out our treble hooks because me and Cooper have learned our hard lessons about losing fish with bad treble hooks. So it was actually I believe it's a 10XD hook, big old treble hook. I don't even know the size of it, but it is huge.
Yeah, he didn't tell the whole story. So
Cooper, your dad did it, right, Cooper?
Yes, sir. Yep. So he did it, and Carson was actually in the middle of saying, "What if it doesn't come out the first time?" And he just, when he wasn't expecting it. So, and he didn't have to see what it was like not getting it out the first time.
Yeah, I had heard something like that. Like he said on 3, and then he went on like 2.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
Smart man.
Yep. So, were you throwing 10XD? What were you throwing?
Yeah, so we were rotating. We were rotating between a 6XD and a 10XD. A 6XD was kind of that we were fishing the same depth of water. 6XD was just a little bit more finesse, a little smaller profile. And once we needed that really big bite, we'd jump up to the 10XD and just, it's loud, erratic. And it would really get us that bigger than average bite.
It's like throwing a 10-inch rattle trap out there. It's just so noisy.
Yeah, it's a big old bait. And I think once the water comes down, you'll probably see dredges all the way where we were fishing. We were fishing it in probably 6 to 8 foot of water, and it's supposed to dive like 20 to 25. So I think once the water comes back down, you'll see big old trenches where we fish, and I'll probably tell you where we fished all week.
So I got to ask, how much fishing line did you guys catch?
We actually caught all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, the highlight of the week was catching a big old paddlefish hook.
Yes.
Big old rusty paddlefish hook.
It just never fails, because I'm just like you guys. I love throwing a moving bait at Grand Lake, and in the early spring I throw a lot of pre-Rapala wiggleworts, and those are the holy grail a lot of times, and you get that spongy, you're hung up, but it's spongy, and it just all the time fishing line. I was just curious how much fishing line you guys found on Grand.
Yeah, we caught all kinds of stuff. We caught fishing line. I caught 2 rocks, which I've never actually got into the boat before. I got all the way to the boat, and then I actually stopped it because it didn't feel right. And then whenever I stopped it started going down, so I thought it was a fish, the first one. And so I've never actually hooked into a rock before and got it to the boat. That was a first. That was a blooper during practice, and hooked who knows how many logs, sticks, brought them to the boat. And I mean, we hooked all kinds of trash and who knows what throughout the week.
I caught an A-rig in the Monday Nighter.
Yeah, I think like 4 years ago, my old fishing partner caught an American flag off the bottom of the Lake Nickjack. Not know if anybody's done that.
Can you guys see the comments?
We can.
Oh.
Some guy named Michael Moon wants to know how many crankbaits are at the bottom of the lake.
Yeah, probably, I don't know, probably 10, 12 between the two of us, and probably 25 jigs and just anything we drug on the bottom. It was just, I mean, what we were fishing was just like every 5 casts you had to retie. I mean, it was shell, rock, I mean, jagged rocks, just a bunch of trash. I mean, I don't even know what all was down there, but about every 5 casts, your line was just shredded, and you could see like pieces of your line just frayed off, and it was rough. Whatever was down there, we lost who knows what. I mean, we lost a ton of stuff, but that's where the big ones were, and we ended up getting it done. So I mean, it was worth it in the long run.
Huh. So I'm guessing maybe that Michael's your dad.
He is. Yeah, he is. So he was. I mean, every 5 casts when we lost something, he was back there. Just it's our money, but it still stings sitting there watching a $10 crankbait every few casts, and it was. I mean, but it was worth it.
I think I'd be investing in one of them good lure retrievers. You guys didn't even take time to do it, probably, did you?
Oh, we had one. That was the problem. We had one, but it was so shallow water, we didn't want to ruin our fish.
Oh, okay.
So we just, once you were hung, I mean, we stayed off our fish and casted to them. And once we were hung up, if we couldn't go all the way around it far enough and pull it from the backside, we just broke it off. I mean, we didn't want to mess up our fish, and a lot of people actually were sitting on the fish and messed them up. So day 2, when we had our cameraman, We had a boat. He was up there flipping bushes, and our cameraman actually asked me. He said, "What is that boat sitting on your spot going to do?" And I said, "Just wait." I told him, I was like, "Just wait and just wait until he moves off." And I said, "It's going to go down here in a few minutes." And he probably got, I don't know, 30 yards away. And about 10 minutes in, I don't even think they were fishing. They were just watching. And, they were watching us just just whack them. And after we left, they sat on top of the fish the rest of the day. Didn't know what they were doing. They just saw us catching them. And so so I think that kind of is what messed them up day 2 to day 3, because we definitely left them biting day 2. There was still plenty of fish you saw. Just after day 3, you could see them. They just wouldn't bite, and they knew something was up. A lot of boats were around them, and day 3, we were boat number 1 going out, and that boat and another boat that saw us tried to start there. So they were all kinds on top of them and messed them up in the long run. But yeah, so luckily we had enough other stuff to go hit.
Very cool.
So what did you win for what do you get for being national champions?
So we get this very nice trophy here. Me and Cooper both get to fish I think it's the Toyota Series Championship in November on Grand Lake as well, and we got a chance to win a $40,000 I think Phoenix 518 Pro. So, and also we get a $10,000 scholarship, so $5,000 each.
Is that to any school, or so it can go to Montevallo where you guys are already going, or?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's to any school. Yes, sir. And we
Nice.
also won, I think, 3 other almost full rides to other schools, but we're already committed and we know where we want to go. So it's not useful for us, but still a great experience and great prizes going out.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool for anybody that's watching, or kids, high schoolers that are watching. I mean, you guys are already set where you're going, but if you wouldn't have been, you would have had 3 schools full rides for winning that tournament to choose from. So that's pretty cool.
Yes, sir. It's just hard to pass up the 5-time national champ.
Yep. Montevallo is a good school.
Yes, sir, it is. Coach Crawford's a great guy.
Got a good coach and
great team.
A good team.
And outdoor scholars program.
And so what does Montevallo, they give some kind of scholarships, or do they pay for your fishing, or what do you get for going to Montevallo, for choosing Montevallo?
So it's so like most schools, it's a partial scholarship to do all your academic plus all your academic scholarships and whatever scholarships you can apply for through the school and stuff like that. And then they pay for all your fishing expenses, gas, lodging, everything like that. So that's probably more than the school is. I mean, just traveling all over the country is not cheap at all. So that, and then plus, just the biggest thing is just getting experience from the older guys that are there. I mean, these are the seniors now and the juniors and the people that just graduated are your next professional fishermen that will be up there in a few years, and just learning from those guys and being able to take in all the knowledge before you take your big step, whether it's through the opens or through the invitationals, the Toyota series, whichever direction you want to go. It's that's really the experience that they provide, is just the whole culture and the talent that's there.
Yeah.
I was actually able to win the Bobby Lane scholarship 2 times before I came to Montevallo.
Nice.
In addition to the Montevallo scholarship.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's a cool deal. I mean, it's not unlike there's all kinds of schools out there with all kinds of scholarship opportunities. Football, whatever, baseball, track, and fishing, and they don't. Not everybody gets a full ride, but it's almost like a full ride because that money they pay you guys, to go to travel, entry fees, food, lodging, all that. Somebody's got to pay for, either you or your parents. And so that's money that your parents don't have to pay that they can kick in on the remainder of your schooling, that so it's pretty cool. There's schools out there that give full rides but don't pay for all the fishing. So,
True.
it all balances out. So it's pretty cool. And you're going somewhere you want to go. So are you going to fish together in college, or do you have a choice? Does your coach decide that?
No. So we have a choice. It's we're gonna fish around, see if we can get experience from somebody else. We're gonna fish around, and we may end up being partners, or we may not. But either way, I mean, just this whole year has been an awesome experience and one that I'll never forget. If we do fish together, if we don't, it's just whichever direction we choose. And I think this year has been awesome. And I think that, having that option to fish with, there may be somebody that's a better fit out there that we don't know of, or there may not be. We may end up fishing together. You just never know.
Does the hat you wear have anything to do with who you choose? Because I see Carson has the Brandon Polinick hat, and you're wearing like the traditional, looks like you got a Richardson 112 on, I think. So, which is more my style, but we're old. So I don't know, Cooper, are you like an old soul just wearing the old school hat
no, I got Carson? Some of both. I got some of both. It's just,
okay.
I got to rep some of my sponsors on what I do, and this is a tactical tungsten hat, and I'm very blessed to have the sponsors that I got, and I rotate through them all the time. So I got all kinds of hats, and that has nothing to do with who the person really is. I mean, just getting to know each person it's a true blessing. Getting to know everybody, and getting to know Carson over this year has been awesome, and I think getting to know all the new guys from all over the country it's going to be a great experience.
Let's go back to the comments right quick. We got a question from Mr. Tossi. What rod length and action and line do you throw with your 10XD?
I was throwing a 7.6 medium heavy cranking Kistler rod with 12-pound fluoro, and I think it's a 6.2 or 6.5 to 1 Lew's Elite TI reel.
Nice.
On mine, I was throwing a power rods. I believe it was a 7.5 medium heavy, and I had 12-pound Seaguar on it.
And your reel, your speed?
I believe it was a 6.2 Corrado, Shimano Corrado, 200 size, I believe.
Yep. Very good. Yes, sir. Is there any other questions I missed up there, Danny?
I'm looking back through, and I just wanted to mention Lanier Bates. Little shout out to you guys.
Yes, sir.
Dave Rosenberg. Who's Dave Rosenberg?
So that's actually the owner of Tactical Tungsten. So it's, over the years I've had the privilege to get to know them, and it's an awesome company. So they actually are veteran owned, and all the profits go to
Who's singing?
I don't know.
Weird.
Was that from your house, Kyle?
No, sir,
Uh-huh.
it was not.
Weird.
Wasn't for me either. But yeah, I've gotten to know Dave over the years, and he's the owner of Tactical Tungsten, and he's a veteran, so he owns the company, and what they do over there is pretty amazing. They don't make a dime off of Tactical Tungsten. It all goes back to helping veterans and veteran events. So I've been able to, the past 2 years, I've been able to be a boater for the veteran event. And what we do is we take veterans out for half a day of fishing and get to know them. A lot of them, they just want to be involved in something, and a lot of them want to be able to talk to somebody and go fishing and have that experience. And then we come back, have lunch, and just it's a great time. And seeing the smiles and the stories you hear, I mean, it's unlike anything else. And I think just that whole event, if y'all are ever here, or if y'all are ever open and want to do it, it's definitely a great event to be a part of. It's giving back to your community, and I mean, it's such an amazing event that I'll be a part of for years to come.
Yes, sir. I've actually organized an event for veterans as well at my home lake in Fort Loudon there, and we've taken wheelchair-bound veterans fishing over there at a ramp or a access area called Concord. So that was a great event, and it was all over the news. So
very cool. Very cool. All right. So what is the world finals part of that tournament?
So that's like the open, anybody can show up event. So that's where there was the 400 boats, and I think, I don't know exactly, but I think 250 to 300 were something around there were the national qualifying teams. And
you had to qualify. You had to qualify for the national championship part through your state, through your TBF state or state, some kind of tournament to get there.
Yes, sir. So that you have to qualify for. The Worlds is open to anybody who wants to show up, and the Worlds, it's a really weird format, but basically how they do it is the first 2 days you get split basically how you did. The top percentage goes into one bracket, the bottom percent goes into the other bracket, and then all weights 0, and whoever makes the top or the top 20 in that basically go to the 4th day. And the nationals in the 30th spot is the top 10 nationals that made it, which was our group that made it to the 4th day as well. So at the end of the day, the 4th day, there's 31 teams. They pick a lucky dog out of everybody who showed up. And so one lucky team gets one final shot. So there's 31 teams the 4th day that get a shot at the world finals.
That was pretty cool. Although I don't know how many they had to draw to get to that 31st, because I helped with they were a little short on golf cart guys on that final day or on that Friday. And so I was helping Brent run some golf carts, and we got to the end and they were drawing for that lucky dog, and you had to be present to win. And
yeah, a lot of people.
They drew like 7 times before they drew somebody that was there. And, so there's like 6 teams that are kicking themselves. They didn't get a fish because they kind of went home.
Yeah, a lot of people, once they realize they don't make it, they just go on home, and that's a mistake. Some people are sitting there kicking themselves, like you said, and I mean, it's just a lot of people don't want to stick around. They want to get out of there, which, it's a 1 in 400 chance, but still, you never know when it's your chance. I mean, just like us this week. I mean, it was our one moment, and we took advantage of it, and I think it was awesome.
You did have a chance to win both. That didn't happen. I know you guys were hoping to do that, but you, like you said, you went you burned down all your fish trying to win that national championship, which paid off.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody had a pretty big bag that last day, 15 or 16 pounds, I think, didn't they?
Yeah, they were saving those fish for the whole week, and they used them on that day.
Yep. It was pretty cool. It was a good event. I'll commend the folks that run that event. There was a lot of trying circumstances. You know, the parking lot's underwater, and it's even farther underwater now than when you guys were here. But they were able to get the lake down just enough to use like 3 ramps, which for 300 or 400 boats is not enough. But they had, 75 or 100 boats put in elsewhere and run over, and then the rest put in there, and they did it. I mean, the launch left on time every morning, and weigh-ins were pretty long, but you're gonna have a long weigh-in when you got 400 bags of fish. So
yeah, usually they do a pretty great job. 2 years ago, we were in La Crosse, Wisconsin, on the Mississippi, and it was. I mean, they did a pretty good job. There was 2 boat lanes, and I think there was maybe 50 spots, kind of like there is here. I mean, there was only maybe 30 to 50 parking spots available, and somehow they got us through. They got us going, and they do a pretty good job considering 400 boats. I mean, there's not a lot of places that can hold it. I mean, La Crosse definitely couldn't, but they made it. They managed it, and it was a pretty smooth event.
yeah.
So after spending that much time on Grand Lake, I want each one of you to say kind of a little bit about what you think of the lake, and then, in your guys' opinions, is it a spot lake or is it a pattern lake? Carson, why don't you go first?
So I think we were very blessed to find the 5 to 10 spots we found in practice, but I think you can pattern kind of what we did. Maybe not catch 16 pounds and then follow it up with 14 and a half and then 14, but I think you can definitely pattern what we did.
Cooper?
Yeah, so overall, Grand Lake, it's a very healthy lake. I mean, there's so many, like John said so many times, there's so many 4 to 6 pounders. I mean, the first day, I think we threw back 4 pounders, and that was just not even fishing, really. We were just kind of, trying to get one more big one, and once we caught one, if it was like a 3 or 4, we just kind of left to keep them for the rest of the week. And even doing that, we caught probably 5 that we had to let go that were over 4. And throughout the week, we probably 10 total 4-pounders that we just threw back, I'd say, around there. And I mean, it's so healthy. And I mean, that's one thing that we never said we had enough, because there is so many 4 to 6s out there that anybody can pull up and catch 18 pounds in 5 to 10 minutes. I mean, just like we did. I mean, we just pulled up, and not quite that much, but we pulled up and caught 3 really good bags, and all 3 days it was within 10, 15 minutes at most. And I mean, it's a great lake, and I think you can definitely get on a pattern, and that's what's gonna win you a tournament down there. But also, you can get on a spot that a lot of people there got on a spot, and that's what they did really good up until the final day. If somebody got on it, then they did really bad. And I think you can do good on a spot, but to win, you have to pattern it.
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome. Who is your favorite angler, Carson? Professional angler, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't want you to say me. So professional angler.
I'd probably have to say Chad Morgan Taylor because he actually mentored me a little bit in my sophomore and junior year. He's still mentoring me a little bit in my senior year. And he'll be a lifelong friend that's always helped me kind of get to where I am today.
Very good. Cooper?
Yeah. So mine's probably Jacob Wheeler. And not just because he's really good, really hot right now, but just probably because he's still a younger guy, but he's not like your 18, 19-year-olds that are coming in and just taking over the sport. He's still, but he's adapted. No matter he doesn't make excuses why younger guys are catching them. A lot of people, they'll say, "Oh, well, forward-facing sonar is cheating," or whatever they want to say. But he's adapted. He hasn't made any excuses. He's learned the new technology. He's still on top after all these years, and I think that's what you got to do to be one of the best. Just like KVD did, it's just don't make excuses why younger guys are catching them, because it happens every year. Young guys come in and do really well, but your guys that are really, really on top are the ones who adapt with the technology, with the the different presentations, and he's done a great job with that.
Absolutely. And we really haven't asked this question, but we really need to ask it. Were you guys looking at the fish, or were you just fishing waypoints?
Nope. So we only used our live scope to kind of find the structure, just kind of get set up on the point, just kind of find where the rock pile is at, and then we spot lock our Minn Kota Ultra Quest. It was absolutely flawless this week, and we just kind of blind cast until we found the school. So throughout the week, they're very hard to see on scope. So we kind of stuck with spot locking and kind of finding where the school was at on the rock pile, and we approached it with a crankbait and something dragging, whether it's a jig, big worm, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say all week there was probably one spot that we really used forward-facing sonar, and I think that was just because it was such a big school, and we didn't need it. You could have cast it almost anywhere and caught fish, but we wanted in that biggest line of fish possible so we could get the best cast in there that we could at the best angle. And I think that was all week. That was probably the only spot that we really used it. The rest of the week, our schools that we were fishing weren't 50, 60 fish schools. They were 10 to 15. And I think it was just bigger fish. And besides that one spot where I caught the two big ones out of on one cast, I think that's really the only place we use forward facing all week.
Very good. With my buddy David Stout saying hi. Congratulations.
Yeah, so he's actually the one that recommended us to Lake Lodge, and that's a great, great recommendation.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We appreciate it. Both of you have made reservations for the Toyota Series. That's good. That's good. That'll be cool. You're fishing on the co-angler side on that, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's a pretty neat deal.
Yeah, it's a pretty good lake I'd say it's going to be a pretty good lake to fish as a co-angler with the kind of how it sets up. Me and Cooper both have fished co-angler tournaments already, so we kind of sort of got a feel what we need to do, and even if we don't catch them, it's just an awesome experience to be able to go to that and learn from our boater, and just to kind of see good or bad experiences and what not to do and what to do.
Yeah, I think Grand Lake, or Carson and I actually both fished as a co-angler on Lake Lanier, and that was probably one of the worst lakes to co-angler. Whenever the guy up front is up there scoping, and you can't hit a brush pile. They're up there on a brush pile, and you can't cast anywhere to the front of the boat. So I think that's probably one of the worst lakes to co-angler in. But Grand Lake, I feel like will be a little better for sure. I mean, there's so much to fish, and I mean, I think it'll be a lot better than our first experience as a co-angler for sure.
Yes, sir. So I was actually with at Lake Lanier with Paul Mark. Shout out to him, great guy, very nice. And he sat up there and caught. I think he had 13 pounds the first day, and then 12 pounds the second, and he won the whole tournament, 3-fish tournament. And yeah, it was a great experience to see him. Before he even made the series, I knew he was going to make it, and it was just a great experience to be able to do that.
Awesome. So what do you want to do with your life? What do you see yourself doing 5, 6, 7 after college, or during college? What are your goals in college? And then what do you want to do after?
Coop, you can go ahead.
Coop?
All right. Well, so after college, the goal is to fish the opens and qualify through there. That's the ultimate goal. But either way, if I'm gonna try my best to make it to the elites. Put my head down just like we are now, and do my best to make it there. But either if it doesn't work out, somewhere in the fishing industry is definitely going to be where I'll end up. I mean, whether it's with a company, doing stuff on social media with videoing, and I don't know really what's after that, but it'll be somewhere in the fishing industry. I mean, I've fallen in love with this whole industry, and it's just a bunch of great people that love to fish, and that's, I mean, no matter who you really talk to, there's a select few that just they don't want to talk to you. They're just that kind of person. But I mean, overall, the people you meet in the fishing industry is unlike any other industry out there. And so that's where I'll end up, either if I make it or if I don't. That's my goal and my career after college.
What's your college goal? College goal?
College goal is to hopefully win another national championship and keep the ball rolling with the 5-time team of the year. I'm hoping we can keep it rolling there. I think we had two or three other teammates in the top 10 that were going to Montevallo as well in the national championship. So our future there with the whole team is very bright. Actually, second place was a Montevallo team or a kid going to Montevallo as well. So hopefully we can keep that going, keep school of the year going, and hopefully personally, win a few and hopefully win another national championship is definitely the goal. It would be awesome. I think Tucker Smith is the only person to do that so far, I do believe, is to do it in high school and college.
Yep. Carson?
Yes, sir. So definitely first and foremost for me is to actually get my degree in business management, get through my 4 years, and actually help the school in Montevallo get another national championship as well. Maybe every year. That would be a dream come true. Help Coach Crawford, and after that, just see where it goes during my 4 years. See what connections I make through the industry, and we're going to be given a lot of opportunities to go to ICAST and kind of network with other companies. So after that, we'll see for me how it kind of goes, and hopefully, I mean, I get to fish the Opens. That'd be a dream come true to be able to have the chance to qualify for the Elite Series and fish against people I've looked up to my whole entire life.
Awesome. One other thing that Montevallo asks you to do, correct me if I'm wrong, is as an angler, as a recruit, is to bring in a sponsor. Is that right?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
To help out the team. So, I mean, you've got the floor. You can recruit a sponsor, or did you already do that today? with Josh. I see the shirt.
Yes, sir. So I toured with Josh yesterday at Clutch and got to know him, and he's a great guy. He's got a great team there, and I actually have a possible job opportunity with him in the summer, kind of part time. So we'll kind of see where that goes, and definitely I'm going to Bubba tomorrow to kind of tour their facility, and I got a bunch of other companies that's helped me over my high school career that I'm gonna reach out to, and definitely blessed to have them behind me, and I know Cooper's got a bunch as well too. So I'll let you tell you kind of what he's thinking.
Yeah, so I'm extremely blessed with the sponsors and partners that I get to work with. One thing that I did, I completely took out the word sponsorship, and I look at it as a two-way partnership because they're not it's not a one-time thing. They're giving me money or whatever the case is, and I just go run with it. I believe that I have to give back to whoever gave to me. And that's one thing that I've been very blessed with is all my partners now. It's almost like a family, it's like a family for each one of them. And I can, if I ever need anything, I can call them up, or if they need anything from me, call me up. And I think definitely blessed with that. And I am, I've grown a good group over the years, but if anybody is interested, you can reach out to me on any of my social medias. It's Cooper Moon Fishing, and I'd be very blessed and very honored to talk to each and every one of you. And I think, just over the years, it's been such a blessing it's kind of crazy how and when you meet the people that, that come into your lives and win. I mean, some of them, like Tactical Tungsten, my brother actually grew up with one of the he works good with the company, and it's actually his father-in-law, Dave, that owns it. So it's kind of crazy how it comes back, and it's definitely how you treat people out there. It comes back to you. So I think, definitely just built an amazing group of partners, and I think that I would love to expand. And if anybody's interested, just please feel free to reach out.
Awesome. All right. We've kind of covered the fishing and the sponsorship and all that good stuff. Now we're going to get into the real important stuff. Are you excited to leave home and go to college? Like, be out on your own where, like, you can do whatever you want.
I'm kind of 50-50 because I can do whatever I want, but I also got to do a lot more. There's a lot more responsibility and accountability that'll come along with it. So it's not just going out and having a great time. Or you can do that, but you won't be in college very long. So you'll be one and done. So if you want to last it over 4 years, it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of late nights doing homework, and so it's 50-50. I'm excited for the experience, but not excited with all the accountability that comes with it.
Carson?
Yes, sir. So like Cooper said, all the accountability, all of what Coach Crawford expects us to do in the classroom and out of the classroom and at tournaments and how we represent Montevallo, that's going to be a big change of pace to be able to represent something like that, big program, and just to have that brotherhood and kind of see how everybody handles themselves and to be able to just kind of network and kind of get to know other people and kind of not sit there and party every night, but kind of keep our priorities straight and focus on school and do our studying, and just to be able to do that is going to be a different change of pace. So hopefully we get used to it and get acclimated to it.
Maybe I should have worded it a little different. How about your parents? Are they ready for you to go? Do they want you to not go? What's happening with them?
Oh, I think they're the same way. Half of them want it can't wait till I walk out the door. But half of them, they'll miss me. But a part of them,
are they looking to design your room, or are they going to keep it exactly the way it is? That's how you can tell what a parent, if their parents are really ready. Like if they've already got the plans to make it a game room or something in your bedroom, or are they going to keep it the same?
I don't know. Time will tell. We'll see.
I bet I know.
I bet I do too.
There's no telling with my parents. My sister's already graduated, so I don't know. There's no telling what they're going to do after I move out. So.
All right. What about a girlfriend? You got a girlfriend, Cooper?
I do. Yep. I'm very blessed with. She's awesome. She puts up with all my fishing, traveling, all that, and so I'm very blessed on that part.
Are you going to give a shout out to her, or you just going to say you're blessed?
Yeah, I mean, just thank you. I mean,
Is she watching? Is she watching?
I don't know. I don't know. She may be, but
well, she better be.
I hope not.
Yeah, I think she is. I think she is.
Oh my, Carson.
No, sir. I'm open.
Oh,
that's probably a good thing. That's probably a good thing.
He's single.
So any girls watching this, hit him up after the
single
show.
Ladies, all the single ladies.
Oh, Cooper, they're turning your bedroom into a man cave, apparently.
What's your favorite snack?
So for me, without a doubt in my mind, I actually talked to him today, and All Wells beef jerky. Y'all go check them out online. Great, best beef jerky I've ever had in my whole entire life, and I have gone through hundreds of different brands.
What is it?
All Wells.
All Wells.
They're out of Warrensburg, Missouri. It's ALEWELS.
Man,
All Wells. I think it's county.
You've been busy. Have you got a trunk load of beef jerky now, or in your?
Yes, sir.
Man, that's awesome.
We loaded up today for the whole season and my college first semester.
There's only one way to keep from getting stature.
Oh, okay.
Coop, what's yours?
So mine's got to be jerky as well. I actually a new partner this year is Bearded Bison beef jerky. I've tried them, and they're pretty good. I mean, they're awesome, and it's more of your homemade jerky that that's kind of what it reminds me of most is your homegrown or your homemade beef jerky, and Carson's is pretty good, but I like mine pretty good too. I mean,
I think I do believe that each of you need to send a box of it to this address. You know what the address is, and I'll make sure my buddies up above we'll do some taste tests.
Battle of the beef jerky.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll do some taste tests. All right.
There's the link right there for All Wells. All Wells Country Meats, Warrensburg, Missouri.
That's where my farm is in Missouri. My mom's side of the family. So
that's awesome. What's your favorite ice cream?
Chocolate peanut butter cup.
Just plain old chocolate?
No, peanut butter cup.
Chocolate peanut butter cup?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll eat anything. Any
ice cream. You like stuff in it, or are you just a plain?
Anything that doesn't have nuts in it.
I'm with you there, brother. No nuts. What about peanuts? Can you do peanuts?
Not in ice cream.
Not in ice cream. I can't do nuts at all, but I can eat peanuts. It's a weird.
Yeah.
I must have got sick when I was a kid on nuts or something, because I just cannot do nuts, but I can do peanuts.
I can't do nuts and brownies either.
Nope, no nuts in the brownies.
Nope.
None.
No.
Got to have plain brownie. Cooper, you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I think also those cookies from Chick-fil-A with the oatmeal in them, that messes them up. I like a good, fresh cookie without all the oatmeal, without all the, the peanuts and nuts and oatmeal and all that. You can hold out on all that.
Okay. My wife's the same way. She likes just plain ice cream, chocolate or vanilla. And I kind of like the peanut butter cup, something like that in it. Snicker. I like the Snickers mixed in or like a Butterfinger, something like that.
Well, y'all got a great place over there to go stop at Brahms. They're awesome.
Kyle, what's your favorite? You just had a birthday.
Yeah, I don't even eat cake. I like ice cream so much.
What kind?
Well, it's got to be butter pecan. I didn't know there was another.
Oh my gosh, pecan! You lost me. You lost me at pecan.
Yep. And for my birthday, I don't eat. Like I said, I don't even eat cake. It's ice cream cake all the way.
If you eat cake, Cooper and Carson, what kind of cake?
Ice cream.
Ice cream cake.
I don't like cookie cake.
I like a good cookie cake sometimes, but out of all the cakes, my mom makes a butter pecan cake, and it's pretty dang good. That's probably my favorite out of any cake.
Cookie cake. What are you talking about? Cookie cake, like the cookie,
a big giant cookie.
That's not a cake. That's a big giant cookie.
They call it cookie cake. Used to sell them at the mall in Joplin. You know exactly what they are.
So the old-fashioned cake, like 3 layers with ice cream or icing in between. How do you all eat that cake? If you have a piece of cake, 3 layers, icing in between each layer, how do you all eat that cake? You're gonna get a kick out of this. Trust me.
Carson, I think you should give us a visual example.
Carson, you eat ice cream cake, but if you're eating a 3-layer like chocolate cake, chocolate icing in between, how do you eat it?
I stick it in my mouth and I swallow it.
Just one bite at a time. It doesn't matter how you cut it or take a bite. Okay, Cooper.
I mean, I don't think it really matters. It just, take a bite at a time. I don't.
Kyle, you don't eat cake. Danny,
I ain't eating cake. It's nasty.
Danny, if it's.
Well, be sure and ask the newly diabetic guy about ice cream and cake.
You don't eat ice cream or cake. Okay, so I eat my cake. There's a slice laying on the plate. I will cut out the cake part out of each section and eat it first. So there's nothing left but icing, and then I'll eat the icing.
That is the most OCD thing I have ever heard in my life.
That's a little odd.
Love it.
I knew you all would get a kick out of that. I don't know why. I don't know why. I've always eaten it that way.
How do you eat lasagna?
Like take a bite. Take a bite.
That's the Italian style cake.
You can't do that. You can't do that with lasagna. With cake, you cut the sponge cake part out or the cakey part out, and the icing stands by itself.
Oh boy!
Y'all should see Carson and his fishing tackle. The most OCD I've ever seen in my life.
Nuh-uh.
If that's the case, I wish he had swung by here before he went to Tennessee or Missouri.
Yeah.
I want to boat right now. It's kind of a mess.
All right. We're continuing down this road. What's your favorite fast food place?
Ooh.
I think I know Cooper's. He already said it once, I think. Maybe not.
No, I think Chick-fil-A is the most consistent. Like 95% of the time it's gonna be decent and clean and everything's gonna be all right. But probably out of everything, Zaxby's is probably if a good Zaxby's is probably top tier. But most consistent is probably Chick-fil-A.
Zaxby's is good.
Oh.
For me, it'd have to be Arby's, Sonic, or McDonald's.
Really? I didn't have you pegged as any of. Well, maybe Arby's.
They ain't done me wrong yet, so.
Hey, good beef and cheddar, bub.
So Cooper, so when you go to Chick-fil-A, do you play the My Pleasure game?
What's the My Pleasure game?
You see how many times you can get your whoever's helping you to say My Pleasure. Because you know they have to say that when you say thank you. It's a company rule. They have to say My Pleasure.
Yeah, I've never done that before, but I've only been to one in my life that nobody said My Pleasure, and that was the one in Eufaula, Alabama.
Well, that doesn't really surprise me either there. But
so nobody, not a single person said My Pleasure.
Yeah, roll Tide. Have you ever played that game, Carson?
No, but I've noticed that my sister used to work at Chick-fil-A, so thank God I never heard it in the house.
Oh, don't tell her I told you to play this game because she'll probably get mad. But it can be pretty hilarious sometimes.
Yeah,
you don't want to push it too far. They're all very nice there. What about tacos? Favorite taco place?
I mean, yeah, probably Taco Bell. I mean, not before a tournament, but just on a normal day that you got nothing going on the next day, Taco Bell's the place to go.
They've never been to Chanute, Kansas before, John.
Have you've never had Taco John's?
Mm-mm.
They don't have any down in your area. You would have had one in the upper Midwest somewhere.
Yeah, we got Taco Bell, Chipotle, heck, I don't even know. Del Taco, that's about it around here.
You have a Del Taco.
Yeah, we do.
That's West Coast. Have you ever had a In-N-Out burger?
I haven't. We have a few, or our closest one, I passed it a few times. But I've just never stopped in there. But we do have one it's pretty local.
Interesting. So when you go, you want to order a 4x4 animal style. It's not going to be on the menu.
Okay. That sounds like a massive burger.
4x4 animal style.
Yeah.
Trust me. You'll thank me. You got to go try it.
All right.
All right. What are you laughing at?
All right, it must be dinner time in Grove, Danny.
Yes. Did you not eat?
People want to know. People want to know this stuff.
We started with dessert.
People want to know this stuff.
And then we ended with a cheeseburger that's a 4-course meal in itself.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Carson, are you going to be home for 4th of July?
Yes. And
what are you
then
going to do for the 4th of July?
I'm not sure yet. I'll probably spend it with family, and it'll be nice to be home for a week finally. Me and Cooper have been on the road for weeks on end, fishing tournaments, so it'll be a nice to be home for a little bit and spend time with the family.
Amen to that.
And then after that, I'm leaving for Florida again. Go out still fishing.
What a shame.
And then after that, I'm going up to Champlain to fish a Bassmaster Kayak Open.
Yep.
Wow.
That'll be good.
It'll be a good time. Cooper, what are you doing for the 4th?
I don't know yet. Either spending it with my family or my girlfriend. I don't know which one yet. It's just laid back, nothing crazy. We finally, after Grand, we came straight home. I mean, all 13 and a half hours, we drove straight home, just ready to get home, really. I mean, we've been on the road so much here in the past with the state championships here recently and all the regular season events. And so we were ready to get home, that's for sure. So, I mean, just laid back either way, just relaxing, nothing too crazy.
You going to shoot fireworks?
We probably won't shoot them. We'll watch
Go
them.
watch them somewhere?
Yeah, they're too expensive to be shooting them. There's a lot of fishing tackle you can go buy for fireworks.
That's true.
True statement.
Well, there you go, John. Mr. Crank's mom, her first job was at Del Taco.
There you go.
See?
Mm-hmm. Will there be brats and hot dogs at your firework or your 4th of July celebration, or ribs, or what are we doing for food? I am kind of hungry now.
For me, it's going to be a shrimp bowl.
There you go.
There you go. I get into that.
I don't even know what's going to be in mine. I have no idea. So we'll probably decide the day before and just something around the house and just have a good time with family.
Yep. I'm doing ribs. I'm going to do some ribs. Kyle, what are you doing? You just did a brisket or something.
I did a whole bunch of stuff. I'm kind of barbecued out. I don't know.
Hot dogs around the fire pit?
I don't know yet. I haven't been told what I'm cooking. I'm in for that shrimp bowl.
Yeah, me too. I'd like to have some.
I could do one of those.
I need some crawfish is what I need right about now.
Crawfish?
I ain't had some in a minute.
Yeah, I'm just so daggum barbecued out. I don't know what to say. BLTs.
Nothing wrong with the BLT.
No. What's your next tournament? College tournament, or you gonna fish some open jackpots at home? What are you fishing now?
Yeah, so I got one more, the Bassmaster National Championship out on Clarks Hill. Super excited about that one. I got quite a bit of experience down there. It's just like all my home lakes, like Lanier and everywhere around here. It's a big herring lake, so super excited about that. Unfortunately, there was a big rule change in the middle of the season that kept us from fishing that one together. But things happen for a reason. I truly believe that. So, I think our last tournament together, us getting this win was really, it was really meant to be. And I think, like I said, things happen for a reason. And just, I'm so glad that we got this win, our last tournament together.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely, it was all God's plan for us to win that tournament. And fortunately, I couldn't fish the other National Open with Cooper there. And but I'm gonna fish some night tournaments here this summer before I head off to college. And in 2 weeks, I'm headed up to Champlain to fish that Bassmaster Open kayak. So if I do pretty good in it, I'll be the first ever person. I'll be the youngest person ever to qualify for the Bassmaster Kayak Classic.
Yeah, I knew your mom was telling me that you're pretty high up in the points.
Yes, sir.
You fished 10 killer. I think you fished them all, right? Have you fished them all?
Yes, sir. I fished Dale Hollow and I fished 10 killer, and I did decent at Dale Hollow, and I did another top 25 at 10 killer. So if I do good at Champlain, I'll be very blessed to fish the Kayak Classic. Probably it'll be somewhere around. It won't be all Loudon since the actual Classic will be there, which is actually my home lake. It'll probably be somewhere around there, like Watts Bar or Cherokee or Douglas or maybe even Chick. So and I got a decent amount of experience there. So
yeah, that'll be neat. That'll be very good. Very cool.
Yeah.
What else you got, Danny and Kyle, before we let these guys go?
Well, you've covered like all the food.
Yeah, I covered the food. I mean, we can talk about their favorite pets. You got a pet?
Yeah, so we both have golden retrievers.
best dog.
I met yours.
Yeah. So ours traveled almost 14 hours. So once my mom figured out that we had a really good shot at winning it, she went all night, and that was awesome. I mean, very thankful for her. She drove all night long to come watch us blast off that morning and weigh in and win the tournament, and brought the dog with her, and so it was all of us together. It was definitely great.
Yep. My dog was actually at home with my sister. Big shout out to my sister Hannah. Thank you for the past couple of years taking care of the dog while I was away at tournaments. I'm very blessed to have a supporting family, and she was definitely a big part of it. And all of her support definitely doesn't go unnoticed.
Very good.
Good man.
I think both of our dogs are actually 10 years old. His is a girl, and mine's a boy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, really close. I think mine's either 9 or 10.
Very cool. Anything else you two guys want to talk about? Shout out anybody? Tell us about your social media, where people can follow you, all that good stuff.
I think I've got them.
You got it?
Yeah.
I mean, like
you already posted it once, but
yeah, anybody that wants to, reach out to me anyway, it's Cooper Moon Fishing on pretty much everything. Facebook is Cooper Moon, and on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, you can find me in all those 3 places, and yeah.
Yep, same here. Carson Holbert Fishing on Instagram and TikTok, and I got Facebook as well, just Carson Holbert. Yeah, hopefully me and Cooper can keep growing our pages there.
Yeah.
And if anybody wants to reach out as well, you're definitely open to ask me anything.
And if you're a hot chick, you can ask him out.
Hey. If you're blonde, hit me up.
Wow.
blonde, hot chick.
Yeah. Hey, that's where we go.
You got to be blonde.
Blonde or black hair, if I preferred.
How about a redhead?
They're crazy.
I would tend to agree.
I've learned my lesson there.
Do tell.
Carson, they're all crazy.
You're not wrong there either.
Just kidding, Mom. Just kidding.
But thank you guys for having us on here, and me and Cooper will be, I'm definitely staying at Lake Lodge there come November again. So definitely looking forward to seeing you, John, and hopefully we can bring that home, and that'll be a dream come true.
Yeah, thank y'all for putting me on the show, and last podcast was an amazing experience with Rick Clunn, and I just I want to say a huge thank you again, because I really couldn't do it without all the people that sent texts and messages. I mean, those do not go unnoticed, and now we've gotten to the point that it's tough responding to every one of them, but I see every single one of them, and I thank everybody for that, and all my sponsors. They're such an amazing partnership there. I mean, with Impulse Lithium and Tactical Tungsten, Spot Choker, Lanier Baits, Cast, the Dugout, and also State Line Marine. I want to say a huge thank you to each and every one of you, one of them. They're awesome to work with, and I can't thank each and every one of them enough.
I'd also like to thank Clutch as well. Me and Cooper, it was a lot of our success leading up to being able to qualify for the national championship was on the darter and the eco. So big shout out to them. Also big shout out for them letting me come and tour their facility. So that was great, and awesome to be able to make that connection with Josh, and Will Shepard works there too. So he's a great kid. And, big thank you guys, and thank you John, and thank you Danny and Kyle for having us on here. It's been great to talk to you guys.
Yeah, y'all don't want to get me started on the glide bite on Lanier. It's pretty awesome with that eco and that darter. You have some great days, and I bet those two baits right there are probably the only reason we qualified for the national championship.
Yep.
Because our last 3 events leading up in our state tournament on Lanier we did really well because of the eco and the darter. So a huge thanks to them as well. We had a phenomenal year, like I said, and I couldn't ask for any better this year. And we just had a phenomenal year.
Hey, John.
Yes.
So if they're coming back in November, are you going to make some of your famous armadillo chili for them?
I might.
Okay.
We might make some. We might make some of that.
That's a thing?
Did you see any armadillos around there?
On the road?
Yeah, we did on the road.
Not around the Lake Lodge, though, did you? Oh, my.
I don't even imagine that.
It's not really armadillo chili. They just name it that. Because I do kill the armadillos that get on my property.
Hey, you got a lot of deer there too.
Yep, we do have
a lot of them. Yeah, a lot of them came through while we were there. It's it's awesome seeing all the wildlife and everything while you're there staying. It's an awesome experience while staying there.
Yeah, y'all check out Lake Lodge for sure. The plugs, the slips, the rooms, being 5 minutes from Wolf Creek there. It was awesome. John's a great dude as well. All the ice they would provide us with each morning was very convenient, so we didn't have to go to the gas station as well. So.
Yeah, and if you ever need towels at 1 o'clock in the morning, just call John and he'll come refresh them, and you'll be good to go.
Or toilet paper.
Yeah, anything you need.
Yep. If you call it 1 o'clock in the morning, I will have my earplugs in, but Val will hear the phone call. She'll hear it.
Yeah.
And she'll wake him up?
Probably. She'll kick me. Thank you, fellas, for coming on, and we want to wish you good luck at the other national championship, and want to wish you both well, whatever you fish this summer and at Montevallo next fall. I know you guys will do great.
Yes, sir.
Good
Yes,
luck,
sir.
guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys taking the time and hanging out with us for an evening.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Thank you, guys.
We'll have you on your next big win, whatever that is.
All right. Yes, sir.
I hope so.
All right.
Peace, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning
Thank
in.
you.
Yeah. Thank y'all.
Yep.
Nice kids.
Yes.
Very good kids.
Very mature kids.
Young men.
Young men.
men.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You can tell they've been raised well and right, I think, and I do think mom and dad are a little more nervous about them going to college than they are.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, I know I was the same way, and you know, tried to reassure them a little bit, but you just really can't until they got to get out on their own and do it, and it's hard to let them go, especially when they're going. I mean, I don't know how far they live from Montevallo, but it's got to be 4 or 5 hours anyway, probably. Maybe not that far. 3 or 4 hours, probably.
That's not that bad.
That's not that bad. It's still hard to let your kids go. You'll know someday. It'll be a while, but you'll know someday.
Soon enough.
So, the question on everyone's mind, Mr. Crank. How did the T-ball game go?
Good. Oliver had one really good hit today. He had yesterday. He had a big one out to the outfield almost, and then he did another one today the same way. So,
Sweet.
He's swinging the bat better.
Nice.
But we're gearing up. He's going to do fall. There's a soccer club that just started up in town that they're doing to kind of. It's a competitive league, but it's not as taxing as like Missouri soccer is on the parents. So it's going to be competitive, but mostly in the Wichita League. So it's not like all over the place. So he's going to start doing that here pretty soon. So we got him signed up for that.
Nice.
Kiki, you're a year older. Does that mean you're quiet now?
Yep.
I finally got enough allergy and sinus drugs in me to participate this evening. So I'm all fired up now that we're done.
What's up with the second round of cotton that started dropping?
It's all the rain.
It's annoying.
All the rain.
Yep.
I mean,
folks at home, I'm gonna hop off here. I'm gonna cut my evening. I'm gonna cut my evening at 2 hours. I haven't had a chance to see my kids all day, and they weren't here before I hopped on this podcast. So
you go see them babies.
I'm gonna go check them out before they close their eyes for the night.
Do it. What are you doing? Happy 4th.
Yeah, same to you guys. Just don't blow your finger off.
Yep. Everybody show they got 10 right now, and they better have 10 next week.
10.
Oh, I'll have 10. We're probably going to be by ourselves because, last year's 4th was kind of traumatic. So.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think anybody's coming. Anybody, meaning
the
Bree and Brett and them aren't coming either. I don't think so because they're going on vacation. The 6th, I think they're leaving for Gulf Shores. So.
Oh, cool.
So they're not headed this way. I tried to get them to swing through, but they said it was a little out of the way for some reason.
Kiki, you guys have a good time. Be
You
safe.
too. You guys take care. You guys have a good evening.
Yep, you too.
We'll talk soon.
See ya.
Later, dude.
What are you doing, Danny?
We're going to Connors.
Okay.
And they are doing just he's made that transition from we have to party every holiday to we have a baby now, so we have other couples over with babies and sitting.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's where we are. And and I don't even want to say this, but the forecast here Friday now is totally iffy. That's as far off in the woods as I want to get with it.
Man.
Yeah.
Y'all are the problem with Grand Lake right now.
Yeah.
Kansas, it really hasn't rained. I mean, it rained Friday. It rained here quite a bit, but that rain doesn't really go into here. It's the rain north.
Yep.
And they're forecasting rain starting about noon on Friday, off and on through Monday morning.
Man, what is going on?
I don't know. It's just one of those things, one of those cycles.
It's El Nino.
Is everything else up there filling up like Cedar Bluff and Wilson and
no?
It's all from. If you drew a line from Great Bend to Salina, diagonally, this way. I mean, they're getting rain up north, extreme northwest, up towards like even McCook, Nebraska, and, places like that. But we've had, God, what did I hear the other day?
I think we're at like 10.5 or 11.
Yeah.
In the month of June.
11 inches of rain in Hutchinson. That's about 3 times normal.
Yeah.
We'll take it though.
Yeah.
Everybody is sick to death of hearing about Cheney on the Wichita News.
It's full, right?
Yeah, because they have Cheney Watch on every newscast on every station. But people don't realize, or we don't realize how important that is to us.
Yeah.
Because with Cheney full, that means the pleasure boaters are at Cheney and they're not at Wilson or El Dorado.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is important.
I wish all the wake boaters would go to Cheney from here.
Yeah.
You can't even fish a Monday nighter right now. I mean, we did, but it was. You got to watch out for the waves.
'Tis the season.
Yep.
Cranker, what are you doing for the 4th?
I'm not actually sure what we're doing on the actual 4th. I know Thursday evening we got invited to this big shindig out south of town that they bring in like a food truck and they buy thousands of dollars worth of fireworks and then they got people just shooting them off from the time it basically gets dark until they run out. So we went last year and we got invited again, so we're going.
Sweet.
Yeah. But on the actual 4th, I have no idea what we're doing. I think it's going to be pretty laid back. I know I'm cooking some pork butts and I'm selling some pulled pork this week. So
I saw that.
Yep.
Do you deliver?
No, they just come pick up.
Oh,
I don't know if I'd have a good way of getting it down to Grand Lake before it's spoiled. Put it on an ice box, I guess, and ship it.
yep.
Well, I'm putting something on the pit this weekend. I don't know for sure. I think I'm supposed to do some pulled pork for Connor's deal. He's doing ribs and some chicken and probably do some boudin.
Oh my!
And, oh yeah, Richard.
Yeah,
You were
Richard's correct.
Little smoked bologna. I might do that this weekend. That's always a favorite.
Mm-hmm. John's not too keen on it, apparently.
I'm doing ribs.
That's always a classic.
It's hard to beat a pig sickle.
Yeah, if you do it right.
Yeah.
Which I haven't done since I got this new pellet grill. I've done them like 3 times, and I'm not satisfied. Everybody says they're good, but I'm hard on.
What don't you like about them?
They seem to be cooking faster than I'm used to, so they're a little bit over to my liking. So I got to figure that out.
That's what I run a pellet smoker too. So
the last one I had it down pretty good, but this one cooks a little different.
What brand do you have?
It's a Cabela's.
What?
I think Pit Boss makes them.
And I'm being serious with this question. What brand of ribs?
I usually try to get a lot of times I'll go to the meat store, like I probably will this week if I'm like the meat market, and just buy from them, like not a brand, but fresh, local grown ribs.
Well, the reason I said that, because being the cooking freak that I am, I'm in as many Facebook barbecue and grilling groups as I am fishing. And I have noticed the last few days several people making that same comment about their ribs cooking faster and a different texture. And then they're pinpointing it to buying ribs from like Sam's and Costco and Walmart.
Yeah, I do.
I'm wondering if
we don't really have much of a choice other than the meat market or Walmart, because Harps very rarely has them. Like I go into Harps first to try to find them, and they very rarely have them, and I don't know why. And so I ended up going to Walmart, and I'll try to buy, like, if I'm getting a rib from Walmart, I'll try to buy like a Smithfield or something if they look halfway decent. But they haven't had any lately, so I'm not sure. It's like in a green package. It's like, like a kind of a olive green writing or something on it. I don't know.
Crank, I swear I'll quit liking the comments.
I was going to say, to answer Richard's comment there too, being that I was a meat manager for a lot of years, at Dillon's, all of our ribs came in frozen and we thawed them to put on the shelf. That's how. I'm assuming that most markets will do that.
Yeah.
They're buying them frozen. But,
yeah, they do. I mean,
when I delivered
them frozen.
I've never had any problem, having it be done that way myself.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I tried I've tried the membrane on, the membrane off.
I always do mine off.
Which I always used to do it on, and I thought maybe they're cooking, maybe something's different. So I lowered the temperature and took it off a little bit. But
what temperature do you usually run on?
See, I used to cook with my previous grill. I cooked them at 180 for 3 hours,
mm-hmm.
and then I foiled them and bumped it up to 225 for 2 hours, and then unfoiled them and foiled and sauced them and cooked them for 2 hours at 225, and then I would go 1 hour unfoiled, basted again in sauce,
mm-hmm.
and that's how I used to do it. And then I tried that with this grill, and it took longer at those temps to cook the first batch I did. So I bumped up the temp, and it still took a little bit longer. And then this last ones I did, I took the membrane off and left the temp the same, thinking maybe that would make the difference. And I mean, they were good. They just weren't. I got to figure out where in the grill to put them. I think that's the.
Yeah.
Do you usually buy baby backs, or do you buy like St. Louis style?
Baby backs.
Have you ever tried St. Louis style?
Yeah, I think I tried them one time.
I like St. Louis better personally.
Yeah.
They've got a little more fat content to them.
Yeah.
So that helps them not dry out, and the texture is always.
See, I like the baby backs if I can get them right. You're right. I think the St. Louis are easier to get right. I think baby backs are a little more temperamental.
Yeah. Yeah. When I do baby backs, I try and find the highest fat content ones that I can. If they look too lean, then they're going to be usually a little bit on the drier, tougher side.
Yeah.
Even no matter what you do with this, how you're cooking them.
That's right.
That I'm just shaking my head back over our food conversation.
And I was still perplexed at the John's cake eating style.
The cake eating thing was crazy.
I mean, what kind of psychopath are we dealing with here?
I don't know. But it was like everything that we came up with to mention. Carson had a potential sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you asked him what his favorite snack was. Well, let me tell you about this jerky.
Yeah. Good on him, man. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. So his mom and dad were talking about telling me that Montevallo requires them to secure a sponsor. Every person on the team, that for the team, not. No, I assumed it was for the team, not for themselves. But it might have been for themselves. But I assumed it was for the team, which is smart. But she was worried that he wasn't, outgoing enough and a little shy. And I'm like, sounds to me like he's got all the sponsors. He went to he mentioned he toured 3 different places today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had a Clutch shirt on, so I'm assuming he got something there. And he had a trunk full of beef jerky.
That's going to last him through 2026.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Good kids. I'm glad that worked out.
Yeah.
That was cool. Sometimes we trip and fall into something wonderful.
Yeah. Not bad at all.
And again, we've given our listeners, our viewers, their money's worth.
Yeah. I will say, if you know anybody looking to come to the lake for the 4th, I mean, the lake still is open, and it's actually, it's just high. There's not a lot of floaters around because everything's been high and washed to the banks. But if you're coming to the lake, or you know somebody coming to the lake looking for a place to stay, we've got this air conditioning company staying here all this week that they're redoing the air conditioners in Lowe's, I guess. But they're working at night, so they're gone right now. And then they've been sleeping during the day. But they're ahead of schedule, and they're going to go home Thursday morning. So we had 9 rooms open up for Thursday. I've already got rid of some of them because some of the ones checking in Friday wanted to add Thursday anyway if it opened up, but we still have like 5 rooms so available. And there's like 27,000 fireworks displays going off between the 3rd, 4th, and the 5th and the 6th, I think, in around Grand Lake. So
go stay with John.
Go
watch fireworks.
Yep. If you happen to have a Ultrex trolling motor, bring it with you. I might just buy it.
Oh, there's the main takeaway. Guys, thanks for watching. As always, we're happy to bring you the guests we bring you. We totally tripped and fell into this one.
Yep.
See what adventures await us next week. Peace, man.